Chapter 31. Mid-grade Fire Spirit Root. Are you surprised now? Crack, crack, the big-headed ghost bit crazily as iron fragments flew everywhere. In the blink of an eye, only the hilt of the saber was left. Song Shi hurriedly let go of it and casually used his iron sand palm. He injected all his spirit energy and genuine chi into his palm and released them. A circle of scorching flames erupted. There was a rumble. It was as if Song Shi had hit a rubber ball. He released his brute force and sent the big-headed ghost flying with a slap. The big-headed ghost screamed and smashed a hole in the ground. A palm print appeared on its head and its bones caved in. Smoke was also emitted from the hole. Song Shi's palm contained extreme yawn power. Even the big-headed ghost could not withstand it and suffered considerable injuries. Whoosh, whoosh. Song Shi panted heavily. He had subconsciously released all his spirit energy and genuine chi just now. At this moment, his body was empty. Oh no. I have no more spirit energy, only brute force. Song Shi realized. Facing the big-headed ghost that rushed back, he punched again and missed. He forgot this ghost was immune to physical attacks. Damn you, I'll have spirit energy soon. He peacefully accepted his death and was directly killed. 3 seconds later, Song Shi revived on the spot. Looking at the big-headed ghost with a broken tongue, a missing scalp, and a sunken head, he smiled. If you don't have a saber, I'll just slap you to death. If one slap doesn't work, I'll slap you a few more times. He immediately mobilized all his spirit energy and genuine chi and took the initiative to rush over. Without the saber, he could only rely on the cultivation of his hands. Song Shi decided to also use the unfettered hand. His hands became flexible and his palm, finger, and fist techniques could be changed flexibly. Boom. Soon, the big-headed ghost was hit by Song Shi's iron sand palm which contained the fire spirit energy. The air exploded in an instant. As a result of killing Song Shi for the 8th time, the big-headed ghost's head was morphed violently out of shape. His fire spirit energy also accumulated another 5 points, reaching 29 points. His palm force had clearly become stronger, but it was still far from being able to blow up the big-headed ghost. Song Shi started to become obsessed with ending this ghost. Even if I don't get the system rewards after dying 10 times, I'll be sure to beat you to death today. He no longer deliberately avoided and fought this big-headed ghost head-on. Dang bang, Song Shi had used his full strength twice, but in the process, he also died twice. On his 11th death, ding, the number of times you have died under the same target has reached 10. The basic reward will be stopped. The accumulated rewards can continue to be counted. Song Shi did not obtain anything for the first time and did not care. Today, he would endure the agony of dying and die a few more times so he could kill this ghost. On the other side, the big-headed ghost's head had become completely deformed. It was in a miserable state and its aura was clearly dispirited. Anyone who was beaten up like this would become feeble and weak. It had also become a little afraid. Why was this prey stranger than it was? It had bitten him to death 11 times, but still did not manage to eat a single bite. Why? Do you want to run? You piece of trash, kill me if you dare. Song Shi cursed and deliberately enraged this guy. He wanted to kill the other party to prevent the secret of his immortality from being leaked. This was because this ghost had a human head. It was different from the tentacle monster in the reed marsh. There was a possibility that it could describe his special ability. Die. A murderous aura appeared around Song Shi's body. This was honed from the many death battles he had endured. Even on an active battlefield, it was already rare for a normal person to experience more than one battle a day. But Song Shi had already died more than 10 times in a short period of time. It was hard to not be filled with killing intent. His palm was surging with heat waves and was scorching with power. It was like he had a palm of fire, giving off an imposing aura. As for the big-headed ghost, it did not have much strength left after being tortured by Song Shi. It was heavily injured, and its speed of transformation and movement had decreased greatly. In just 2 rounds, the big-headed ghost was struck by Song Shi's palm. With a muffled sound, the disfigured head split open, exposing its bones. Song Shi's eyes lit up. He felt that he could defeat this guy very quickly. He retreated instead of waiting for death. He then tried his best to avoid the big-headed ghost's counterattack, wanting to exhaust its strength as much as possible. However, the big-headed ghost shook its head and did not rush over immediately. Instead, It revealed a hesitant expression and seemed like it wanted to escape. "Come on, you pussy," Sanshi cursed, "useless coward." Roar. The big-headed ghost was enraged. Its head was covered in blood as it chased after Sanshi. After losing his spirit energy, Sanshi's condition also decreased. He dodged for a while before being bitten to death. Ding, congratulations on being killed 30 times by a yin spirit. You have awakened a mid-grade fire spirit root. The purity of your spirit energy has increased by 50%. The speed at which you refine spiritual chi has doubled. As Sanshi revived, not only did the fire attribute spirit energy in his body reach 33 points, but it also suddenly became purer by more than half. To a certain extent, it was even harder to purify spirit energy and to double the amount of it. This was because the increase in quantity only required continuous cultivation and accumulation, whereas the change in quality required ascension of cultivation levels. Sanshi was only at the early stage of the 4th level of chi refinement, but his spiritual QI had become comparable to the 6th level of chi refinement and was almost close to the level of the Khanate realm. This was also why different spiritual roots had different properties and were also valued differently by the different sects. This was because, in the early stages of cultivation, the grade of the spiritual root not only affected the cultivation speed, but also the purity of spirit energy. If the other conditions were the same, cultivators with low-grade spiritual roots of the same level would often not be a match for those with mid-grade or high-grade spiritual roots. Not to mention the difference in cultivation speed. Sanshi was stunned. He had thought that there would be no more rewards, but instead, there was a big one. So this is the accumulated reward. He thought of the previous notification and was pleasantly surprised. He already felt that his strength had become much purer. When the same spiritual chi was released, its power had more than doubled. He could now kill in one strike. A cold light flickered in his eyes. Sanshi was not in a hurry to cast out his transformed spiritual power. He had to take it by surprise at a chance to unleash a fatal blow. He continued to provoke the big-headed ghost as if nothing had happened. Previously, the big-headed ghost had charged over angrily after being scolded. This time, however, the scolding did not have much effect. Only the big-headed ghost knew that it itself was in a bad state. That this prey was still alive and kicking, hence it was a little suspicious. How in the world did this make sense? Who was the human and who was the ghost now? If ordinary was so abnormal, wouldn't ghosts like it starve to death? Seeing the fear in the big-headed ghost's eyes, Sanshi frowned. He could not delay any longer. He took the initiative to attack. He did not dodge any more and attacked it head-on. Seeing that the food was getting more and more arrogant, the big-headed ghost prepared to bite this person to death again and leave. It was still the same old trick. It first turned into an illusion and dodged, then attacked from behind Sanshi. However, Sanshi could sense its attack even with his eyes closed. He took the initiative to let it bite his shoulder so it could not immediately turn illusory. Enduring the pain, he flipped his palm, and a ball of red energy appeared in his palm. The big-headed ghost sensed that something was wrong, but it was too late. Boom! A scorching heat wave was released from Sanshi's hand. Like a volcanic eruption, it hit the big-headed ghost head-on, and the fire attribute spirit energy directly entered it. Roar! The big-headed ghost screamed miserably. The wound on its head that Sanshi had inflicted earlier started to glow, and many cracks started to appear. Are you surprised? Sanshi grinned and released all his strength. The big-headed ghost's head expanded violently. Then, with a bang, it exploded and was torn apart by flames. Sanshi snorted before being forced back by the blast. Fire waves surged in front of him, quickly burning the incomplete parts of the big-headed ghost, and breaking the barrier of darkness that had engulfed his surroundings at the same time. The power of the big-headed ghost that had caused Sanshi's surroundings to become isolated directly evaporated, and the world returned to normal.